been chosen.
Hello, Truth Seekers. I'm just going to play you a clip from today's InfoWars show here. This is concerning the potential war firestorm to be lit between Russia and Ukraine by the NWO instigators at any moment.
Of thousands of lives, Americans, Russians, Ukrainians, is completely avertible. They would like us to believe that Putin wants to take over all of Ukraine and install a puppet government so that he can restore the faded glory of the great Soviet Union. First of all, he can't even economically afford that. Secondarily, let us listen to what he is saying over and over and over again. When he says he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, what he is saying is he doesn't want Western missiles on his border. This is identical to what President John F. Kennedy said in 1962.
And so he's going to go ahead and give the analogy about the Cuban Missile Crisis standoff that occurred during the Kennedy administration. Kennedy promised that he wouldn't invade if Russia voluntarily withdrew their missiles, which that country did. In this case, the Bilderbergers, World Economic Forum, Davos people hope to use Ukraine's NATO entry as a means of establishing a militarized border with Russia. At the end of the day, provocation to war will lead to further destabilization in many countries around the world, especially the case given that Russia is a major energy producer and exporter. This will help to create the background for a financial great reset if the Verona-Sirius scheme runs out of steam. Some other special source tells me Canada's Special Forces Joint Task Force 2 are instigating and bribing both Ukraine and Russia forces agents to create additional tension in the region. This video from the 18th of January claims they're there for more humanitarian reasons.
CSOR is an elite group of Canadian Special Forces operators, and a small group of them is now in Ukraine. They're looking at potential options to support the Ukrainian government and planning for the possible evacuation of Canadian diplomatic personnel. Sources tell Global News the deployment is part of an attempt by NATO to deter Russian aggression. It's a message aimed at Vladimir Putin in response to his amassing of an estimated 100,000 troops on the Russian-Ukraine border.
Make him understand that any possible gain that he would have from large-scale military action or even military success in Ukraine would generate a cost that would be outsized, that would be far more than any benefit.
Another symbol of support, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly met today with Ukraine's Prime Minister under the guise of trade and economic cooperation. But there's more at play.
It is a pleasure for me to come here and to send a strong message on the part of my government, but on the part of Canadians as well.
Joly's presence is part of the ongoing support Canada has provided since 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. Canada has committed hundreds of millions of dollars to Kyiv in the last 8 years and has helped train Ukrainian security forces.
I think it does send a message to Russia that you know the who is part of the alliance that is willing to stand up to them and you know show their support and their through programming, through diplomatic means, etc.
Okay.
Yes. Diplomatic means or intimidation or bribing and manipulation. Look at the countries and their leaders involved carefully. I do not believe Putin intends to start war. In this instance, it's important to look to see which neoconservatives and neoliberals are the most loud and bellicose. This Alex Jones, Roger Stone's interview is pretty good. It can be found on Band.video. See you guys on the flip side.